It was a little more than 3 weeks ago that the Huffington Post, Time Magazine, you name it, were horrified to see us at the RNC with the most powerful red badges where we could go anywhere we wanted to. And that meant behind the Secret Service lines, you name it. It was just a big news story that InfoWars was inside the RNC apparatus. And now we see the Republican Party establishment that Trump and the libertarian constitutionalist movement has defeated so far, coming in and saying, don't give any of your money to Donald Trump, even though he's giving almost all the money, like he's supposed to by law, to Republican candidates. Donald Trump is the one raising money for the Republican Party right now. So the whole establishment is against him. Well, it was at the RNC 3.5 weeks ago is when it kicked off that Joe Biggs and I and others were able to talk to the Secret Service quite a bit off record. And we were told that in the next month or so, get ready for some very powerful information concerning Hillary Clinton. And we said, more leaks, more emails? And they said, no, dealing with her health. And I said, okay, I'm not going to handle this. Joe Biggs was there. Joe wanted to handle it. A lot of people are former military and police and things like that. We'll just stop there. And I said, you handle it. And sure enough, in the last few days, the contact came through. They said, would come to us. This is not done over phones. This is not done. This is all done in person. And this individual came to Austin, met with Biggs, and this is from the Secret Service of the United States. And they said they're doing this because of national security interest, and basically the public has a right to know. So, Joe, obviously, we've seen MSNBC, CNN demonize us for even daring to raise this, but we're not the ones raising it. She was in the hospital for almost a year in 2013, 2012. She admittedly had all these blood clots. She's falling down. She's stumbling. She's acting like she's having these mini seizures. And then basically a lot of other things are happening. But we have info on the preparations that have been made for her, what's going on, and the fact that the Secret Service told you and told us, get ready. They're going to have to make some announcement soon. So, Joe, let's be very careful. Let's walk word through word exactly what you were told.
So, yes, from the source that I was contacted by in the Secret Service, this gentleman came out and said that they know that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's disease. Now, think about that. That makes a lot of sense. The fact that she's had multiple concussions. We've seen the seizure-like symptoms from her where she starts uncontrollably twitching. And that could lead her to fall, which could give her those concussions, which has also led to the blood clots and so forth and so on. So it makes a lot of sense to see how this is starting to unfold. Now, what I was told is they, that she has Parkinson's, and on top of that, there's been over $250,000 done to the vehicles that transport her to add an extra step or whatever to help her because she has trouble.
To be specific, a little handicap system that lowers down, that she steps on, it rises up.
Yes. To help her out because she has trouble climbing stairs. And we've been calling this. We've been talking about this. Paul Joseph Watton's written about it. You've talked about it. And people say, oh, this is just made up. No, no. This is coming from the Secret Service inside.
And let's not forget, we've got all these neurologists like Ben Carson and others coming out, even the Fox medical team, and saying she shows signs of neurological disorder. Dr. Steve Pachenik, who ran whole medical facilities, says she's clearly got some type of neurological problem. Why not just release the full medical records?
Exactly. And the other thing that the source came out and said as well is one of the main reasons she probably hasn't been giving this many press conferences is due to the fact that from these Parkinson's that she has, from these seizures she's been having, it's being caused by flashes. So when she stands in front of people, you see that one video where she uncontrollably just starts, bobbling her head.
They specifically said, because we have the list here, epileptic type events, but also Parkinson's, which is causing her to fall down, causing more head traumas, because reportedly the strokes are getting closer and closer. Let's get into that. And I think a big event's coming. They're going to have to announce it soon.
The Secret Service said that they're scared, but because if any kind of flash or strobe light is used around here, it sets off a seizure. So that is why they wanted to tell us, they want to make this known. They want to give this to us exclusively to have this kind of information to put it out because they know most news sources are going to be too scared to even go on record to release this kind of stuff.
Well, most news sources, the emails show from WikiLeaks that just came out a month ago, and then the guy that reportedly, maybe the source that released him, ended up getting shot 4 times in the back. and of course that's being investigated right now. It shows right there she was giving orders to hundreds of media outlets of exactly what to say. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was.
Yeah. I mean, look at what's going on. She's in contact with George Soros. People have been dying that have been trying to release stuff about it. This is a dangerous thing to deal with.
The Soroses right now are meeting with the Clintons and meeting with others. Now, they told us more. Let's walk through everything word for word they told us. Let's start at the beginning, Joe, and repeat everything, because let's get it all out there.
All right, so the Secret Service contacted me. They said that Hillary Clinton has Parkinson's disease. They've spent over $250,000 on these stairs that go down from the vehicles to allow her to be able to step down from the vehicle to the ground because she has trouble walking. They said that any kind of flashes or strobes will set her off into a seizure, and that's why they wanted to come to us. They wanted to contact us and get us this information because they knew we would be able to get this out. We wouldn't be scared to do it. And, you know, it really makes a lot of sense when you watch all these videos. The fact that she's refusing to go do all these different news.
It had been a year since she did a press conference, and the one she did, she seemed completely addled.
Yeah.
We need to go question the press, because we know this is right from the Secret Service. But I noticed at her press conferences, where are the flashes? You don't really see those like you do at a Trump event where they're everywhere, which we know cause of folks with epileptic-type disorders. I mean, that's just WebMD to go into these convulsions.
Yep. I mean, we could go to another event and see. We could try to go in with a flash or a strobe of some sort and see if we can get in. If they say, no, you can't bring that in, but then I can bring it into a Trump rally, well, then we
Exactly.
know.
We need to go to more of a rallies with a big flash and say, oh, we're here to take photos. Oh, no, you can't. Because I remember not seeing those.
Yeah, it's really odd. It's really odd because, like you said, when you go to a Trump rally, you see flashes everywhere. It's like he's in a sports arena, like he's some superstar.
Well, let's expand on this then. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, this is directly from the Secret Service where we were told, get ready, we're going to get you something in the near future. This individual is going to be contacting you, and then sure enough, that happened. So this has all been done, like Matt Drudge says, you got to meet in a parking garage now, like Deep Throat if you want to do this. Remember Matt Drudge exposed Monica Lewinsky, and for months they said it was a conspiracy theory. Well, this is not a conspiracy theory. We have broken the MIAC report. When Homeland Security said they were going to go after veterans and gun owners and nobody believed it, we got that from the federal marshals and others. And then when folks didn't believe that, state police gave me a similar document, and it was confirmed to be real. We've broken the Benghazi information. I mean, fast and furious. We have been at the tip of the spear on so many big issues, and that's why the mainstream media wants to act like they're the only ones that will cover news. No, they're the ones that won't cover news, like them saying there's no election fraud in our history, or saying, you know, that Hillary didn't steal the nomination from Sanders. Well, everybody knows that's not true. So I really think we've reached a point where they're in crisis. Other points, Joe Biggs.
It's coming down to the wire. Her health is fading very fast. And it kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen if they're really trying to lift her up. I mean, it's almost like this is the weekend at Bernie's. They're doing everything to hold her up. You see these guys walking alongside of her, injecting her with different stuff just to keep
everywhere
her going.
when she's walking with governors, they've been told, and they're right by her, ready to grab her.
Just to keep her going, just a little bit longer, a little bit more, a little bit. Like, what are they trying to do? It's so confusing to try to find out why they're trying to push her so far.
I agree. Stay there. I want to come back and talk about where you think we go from here. Stay with us.
As First Lady and co-president, did Hillary Clinton order the Waco siege that left 18 children dead? Find out in The Clintons' War on Women.
This is a particularly jam-packed Sunday show. It's important that everybody be aware of each piece of the transmission. Next segment, I filed a special report that I shot yesterday. I'm working 7 days a week right now. This is so important. Our republic is on a knife's edge. It could go either way. On the UN admitting it's brought in 5 million Muslims, most of them military-age men, to overthrow Europe. They actually admit it, even in mainstream news. That is coming up in the next segment. Then I have a breakdown of Donald Trump clips where he's come out and said they're involved in election fraud. We're doing internal polling. It doesn't match up with what they're saying. We need poll watchers nationwide, especially in battleground states. We've got somebody now ready to battle this fraud. This is a big deal. We've got Hillary, it turns out 98% of her charitable contributions were to herself and her own foundation. We've got just all these new hacks of Soros and Hillary. as the world fights back against what they see as Hitler. I mean, the whole world is just like liberal groups, you name it, are like freaking out because when they get in their emails, they see pure evil. So that is all coming up. We also have a very powerful Second Amendment piece where it shows Charlton Heston, myself, and many others saying, from my cold dead hands, if they try to repeal the Second Amendment, you can't. We have the right to defend ourselves. And that's all Trump said a few weeks ago. In fact, he said it kind of watered down. They're acting like it's the end of the world because they admit they're coming for the guns. They want to legitimize that. From the Washington Post to the New York Times to Rolling Stone, they say it's now time to repeal the Second Amendment. Remember, they always denied that. So we're 2 minutes to midnight. They're making their move. This is a jam-packed transmission. I've been up here basically most of the weekend because it's such a critical time. And other parts of the world are trying to pull out of the New World Order and globalism, this unelected corporate system. Now, Joe Biggs, finishing up, we were there. I try not to even videotape it when we go through checkpoints. The Secret Service would cheer us because they know we're awake to what's happening. I'm not going to get into what happened inside the convention center, but it was surreal because these people are freaked out by what they've seen behind the scenes with Hillary. I mean, she treats everybody like crap. That's been admitted. She does horrible things. They stole the cutlery and George Washington's plates. They sold the Lincoln bedroom. I mean, they are trash. And Joe recapping, because you say you've gone over everything, and I'm going to go over everything, but the big issue is they said there's a big announcement coming. She's deteriorating quickly. We believe it's Parkinson's, but they won't say what it is. Let's be clear. The Secret Service doesn't know. They just say she's followed by medical doctors with these tranquilizer pens for convulsions. She has to be helped into vehicles. They've put in basically handicap access for her, to be specific, and they're really concerned. Recap Joe Biggs.
Right, so back at the RNC, we actually met with a couple individuals. This one guy reached out, really thought that we would be a good source for this, said he had some information about Hillary Clinton.
So we vetted who they were.
Exactly. And it took a few weeks, but like they said, they would get a hold of us when the time came to get us this information. And what we were told is they believe that she has Parkinson's disease. She has trouble with a lot of stuff.
She's falling down. In fact, they said more and more.
Yes.
And it was asked how much, and they said, well, there's different units, different groups on detail, but it's bad.
It's at a point where they have to have $250,000 of upgrades done to any kind of vehicle that she's going to be traveling in whatsoever to be able to give her that extra bit of help. Because we've seen in multiple pictures with Hillary Clinton where people are helping her up, dragging her almost like Weekend at Bernie's just to get her up to the podium. And then you see her kind of have these conniption fits where it's like a grand mal seizure or some kind of seizure, epileptic seizure, where you see her just her head going back and forth like a bobblehead. And what we were told is a lot of this is being caused from flashes and strobe lights, which is why she's probably not been doing any kind of press conferences or anything to that nature.
And by the way, Julius Caesar had this as well. Was trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
So this has happened a lot historically. Well, I mean, here's the deal. We have this information. We're putting it out. It fits in with all the other information we've seen. This is unprecedented. The Secret Service covered up for FDR. They covered up for Kennedy's broken back. His back was repaired, but he was still in great pain. They covered up for some stuff with Reagan when he started getting a little Alzheimer's-y towards the end. They covered up for Nixon and his pill popping. What does it tell you about Hillary that they're willing to expose her?
I mean, how long are they going to have to hold her up? She can't do this job on her own. It's
not like she's in there. I get it. She's not in yet. So if she was elected, that'd be one issue. She's not yet. They're warning people.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, though. Is she a distraction away from something even bigger? To take a distraction away from something else that's going on? Because if her health is deteriorating just like this, and there's probably a good chance she's not going to be able to stand up on her own soon, do we need to be looking at Kane more? Do we need to be looking at Obama's? Or
all I know is I can't believe what cowards the mainstream media are, because I openly said to folks, I said, listen, I'm not stupid. Okay, we got the courage. You mean we're dumb enough to put this out? Okay, only reason I'm going to put it out is that there's evidence that's going on, and I don't think you're bad people. But let me guess, you've probably talked to other folks. And we were told, no, we don't trust other people. So I guess they know how backstabbing the mainstream media is.
I've got sources in Joint Special Operations Command, SOCOM, all kinds of different places. The people reach out to us for information all the time, and it always comes out to be true. The fact that you were talking about how there was Saudi Arabia involvement with 9/11, and no one believed you forever until earlier this year when they came out and said that there was an involvement with those guys, and now families are trying to sue Saudi Arabia.
Well, sure, we had that from the FBI right when it happened.
We break tons of information. So this is serious. When people like that reach out to us and give us this information, it's because they trust us. It's because they know we're going to handle this the right way. We're not going to be cowardly. We're true Americans. We're going to get this out, and we're going to break it and we're going to force the mainstream media to talk about this.
That's right. They've called Trump the kamikaze candidate. He's exposing election fraud, open borders, globalism, the fraud of the media. He said today, I'm running against the mainstream media. He is. And so, hey, he's kamikazing. We got to just do the right thing, brother. And I appreciate your courage, Joe.
Thank you, Alex.
Really do. All right, great job. You and Kit work on this story. I appreciate you guys up here on Sunday night. And Paul Watson's going to obviously do a big report tomorrow. Thank you, Joe Biggs. Yep. And thanks to the rest of the crew and you, the viewers out there. It's a great responsibility to have to do this. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have seen a lot of dirty tricks behind the scenes in the last few years. And they've not been coming from Obama. It's always from the Clintons, just in preparation for their reign of terror that's coming. And I was on air back in the 90s when they were in power, and I was told, you're being fired for talking bad about the Clintons. And I said, is this from the Clintons? And they said, yeah, you bet it is. They were on a power trip. Shamrock Communications, which is an East Coast firm. They gave me 6 weeks to stop doing it. Of course, I just went and got syndicated somewhere else. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you that was for just exposing Waco and you know, having Larry Nichols and people on and talking about Monica Lewinsky. Can you imagine what they think right now about this? I mean, all the major media outlets attack us almost every day and say lies about us. CNN, MSNBC. I'm just saying I need your prayers because my kids are counting on me. And I'm not complaining. I feel really good doing this. I feel good in my gut and my soul, but there's also kind of like a heaviness like, man, why do you got to do this? And that's kind of the little bit of coward. I mean, I just back slap that guy right up against the wall and say, you know what, you sit right over there in the corner. We're doing this. But you know, Hillary's obviously very, very ill. If you want to support us, we have a lot of specials that are ending today. The Off the Grid special, half off on colloidal silver. We also have 23% off the different recharge jumper cable packs that are really miniaturized, the best units out there. 40% off Anthroplex. There's also some free shipping on some different items there as well. There's also a lot of other great products on the site. Hillary for President shirts, Bill Clinton rape shirts, all to spread the word and practice the First Amendment in a bold way. InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com or cultural free 888-253-3139. But what I really want is for you to pray for us. But also, I don't want this work to be for granted. Spread the links to our articles and videos in this live show to everyone you know, or tell folks about the local station you're listening to right now. Special report coming up that's key.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.